Good morning. South Korea's defense ministry publishes the nuclear capabilities of the North for the first time in this year's defense white paper. Two large metal objects are detected during search efforts for the downed AirAsia flight 8501. No sign of the plane's black box as no pings are detected. And the cold weather calls for appropriate activities. What could be better than a trip to the ice skating rink right in the heart of Seoul? EVs that boast a cooler, greener, and more efficient way to get around the neighborhood. That's on Korea Today, Wednesday, January 7th, 2015.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us on Korea Today. I'm Kim Myung alongside Jin Ju and Kim Min-jung. And me and Min-jung actually had a chance to walk outside to get some fresh air. And that air just is not that fresh. It's just freezing cold.
It's freezing cold. And yesterday was Sohan, one of the seasonal divisions, one of the 24 seasonal divisions. And the letter So in this Sohan means small. So it's a small cold wave, supposedly. But do not underestimate the letter So in this case, because it is very cold today. In fact, there's a saying in Korean that Daehan, which is the seasonal division that follows Sohan, comes to 소한's house and then freezes to death.
You know,
대한이 소한의 집에서 얼어 죽는다, like literally freeze to death.
That Seoul, I don't think is small. It's like so cold.
Oh, that's
so,
a good one.
That's so right there.
And what you're seeing is Yangjicheon Stream, where our Chun Sung-cho is out there. And cold wave advisories have been issued for the inland regions today. And the strong wind is going to make it feel much more colder. So do bundle up. And the cold temperatures are going to stay until tomorrow. So keep that in mind.
All right, to our Songcho out there, stay warm. Hope you have those heat packs ready. But for now, we'll jump to our top story for this morning. Korea's defense ministry has presented the latest information on the militaries of the two Koreas. And North Korea is presumed to have a significant ability to produce nuclear warheads small enough to be mounted on missiles. In what is the first admission of Pyongyang's atomic weapons capabilities by Seoul, the Ministry of National Defense issued the 2014 Defense White Paper on Tuesday, adding that Pyongyang has obtained some 40 kilograms of weapons-grade plutonium through reprocessed spent rods. The report also covered the extended missile range of the North, which is capable of reaching mainland USA. The 2014 Defense White Paper also outlined Japan's continued claims over the Dokdo Islets, noting the need for a, quote, a stern response to some Japanese politicians' retrogressive historical views and their wrongful claim to the islets.
Now, amid efforts to get inter-Korean dialogue back on track, Pyongyang has criticized the distribution of anti-North Korea propaganda leaflets, calling on Seoul to clarify its stance on the controversial move. The North's official Korean Central News Agency said on Tuesday that South Korea has to decide whether it wants to improve or worsen ties with the North, accusing the South of siding with the activists who send the leaflets across the border in giant balloons. Seoul's Unification Ministry on Tuesday reaffirmed its stance that the government cannot regulate the anti-North Korea campaign, citing freedom of speech guaranteed by South Korea's constitution. In a related development, a district court in Uijeongbu, Gyeonggi-do province on Tuesday dismissed a plaintiff's appeal against the government, saying the country has the right to step in when the leaflet campaigns seem to threaten the safety of residents living near the border.
And Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Strategy and Finance Choi Kyung-hwan says he expects the domestic economy to climb to higher levels as policies kick in for the second half of the year. Speaking at an annual New Year's conference of financial institutions in Seoul on Tuesday, Choi said focus will turn towards structural reforms and economic vitality of the labor, finance, education, and the public sectors. Choi added that the last year's economic growth was focused around exports, but the domestic economy wasn't eager to keep up, saying that programs to boost domestic growth, such as nurturing housing rentals and citizen stability while managing risk from household debt, are in the lineup.
And on the last of our three-part series on the prospects for Northeast Asia in 2015, today we're going to take a look at what we can expect for the economies in the region this year. And joining us now is Professor Yang Jun-suk from Catholic University of Korea. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Happy to be here.
Let's start with China. Now, the world's second largest economy is forecast to post slower growth this year than last year. And this, of course, will have an impact on the Korean economy as well. Let's say China's slowing housing market, for example. This is one of the major risk factors for the Chinese economy this year.
Yes, Chinese economy had weaknesses for a long time. The housing market, the weak non-banking financial sector, high debt in the state-owned enterprises. And what's feared is that the low growth will make all these problems more serious. However, from Korea's point of view, domestic consumption in China is important, but I think even more important than that is Chinese export performance. A lot of Korean exports to China are actually intermediate parts. So I think we need to put more emphasis on what Chinese trade is going to be like rather than the domestic economy for now, anyway.
Mm-hmm. And the weakening Japanese yen has also been a stumbling block for Korea's economic growth. Korean exporters have been hit hard by the weakening yen last year. So do you think the yen will continue to slide against the Korean won this year, and how will the Korean economy be affected as a result?
Well, Japan doesn't really have a lot of choice in their policy right now. A lot of people are saying that Japan has to raise its inflation expectations, and that means keeping expansionary monetary policy for an extended period of time. And one of the consequences of that is the depreciation of the Japanese yen against the won. So Korea has to expect the yen to continue to depreciate for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm. And global oil prices dipped to a 5.5-year low yesterday and sent shockwaves across stock markets across the globe. And there are calls that the Northeast Asian region as a whole should counter this energy threat together or make the best out of the given opportunities.
Well, in general, I think the low oil prices will help the global economy. It doesn't necessarily help Korea particularly because every country is facing low oil prices. For Korea, it's always better to have cheap oil, but also one of the problems is that Korea has a large petroleum processing industry, and that industry tends to get more competitive when you have low oil prices. So that's going to affect us somewhat negatively there. But I think also another problem is that the reason that the oil price is so low is that the investors, the speculators have such a pessimistic outlook for this year, so that I think low oil prices will help us, but it won't help us as much as a lot of people expect.
And then how about in terms of cooperation-wise in this region?
Okay, so I think what the three Asian countries should do, well, Japan and Korea produces no oil, and China, the growth in their oil consumption is expected to be the biggest in the world in the next few years. So we are very vulnerable to changes in oil prices. So I think we should take this opportunity to try to form some kind of a partnership so that we can deal with the rapid changes in oil prices and perhaps figure out a way to move into alternate energy source. We've been given some breathing room because of the low oil prices, so we should use this to try to get ready for the future with higher oil prices.
So all of these economies in the region are closely connected and they're affecting one another. So as they work towards a full recovery, are there any strategies that you would recommend for them? Okay,
well, all three economies have been traditionally very dependent on exports. And I think right now, because of the global recession, we're seeing a real weakness in that strategy. People have been wanting Korea and China to increase their domestic consumption for years. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to sort of re-emphasize the domestic consumption so that when we have slump globally, we could try to use the domestic economy to try to build up the economy. We really haven't built a sort of a policy infrastructure for that.
All right, Professor Yang, thank you for your insight this morning.
Thank you.
Good good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. Now, quite a few significant pieces of news on the domestic scene today. Let's first start out with a look at 중앙일보 for this image first. And the picture is called First Cow in 4 Years Tests Positive for Foot and Mouth. Now, Korea yesterday confirmed the case of foot and mouth disease in a cow, the first such case among cattle in nearly 4 years. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, a cow at a farm in Ansong, some 70 kilometers south of the capital Seoul, tested positive for the type O strain of this animal disease that has, as of Monday, forced the country to cull some 26,000 animals, mostly pigs, since the latest outbreak first reported early last month. Now let's get a check on this side headline as well while we're on the same paper. Words coming from the president. And this title reads, "This year is last opportunity to revive the economy." Now, that is what President Park Geun-hye said at her first cabinet meeting of the new year at the presidential office of Cheongwade. And besides highlighting the economy, she urged North Korea to quickly come forward for talks with the South and demonstrate its sincerity with actions, not just words. Now, moving on to 동아일보 for a look at two headlines here. And they are both about North Korea. And the first title says, North Korea advances in miniaturizing nuclear warheads for ballistic missiles that could threaten U.S. mainland. Now, you did hear about this from Young earlier on in the program's headlines. North Korea appears to have achieved a significant level of technology to build nuclear-tipped missiles that could potentially reach the United States mainland. And this was the first time that South Korea admitted the nuclear capabilities of the North. And in the 2014 Defense White Paper, there was a technological analysis of North Korea's nuclear program. Now, meanwhile, we'll take a look at this second article here. It's about what a source from the U.S. said in regards to North Korea's recent actions. And it says, U.S. to use surgical financial sanction in case of nuclear test or hacking by North Korea. So Washington is believed to be reviewing additional sanctions to slap on North Korea in case the North performs further provocative acts. And at this point, it's unclear what additional penalties that the U.S. has in its arsenal. But a U.S. source said in a phone interview with the Daily that its government has been tracing financial accounts of North Korean elites for some time now, and necessary measures will be pursued if the U.S. is once again threatened. Now we'll go on to some business news. First here on the Korea Economic Daily for a look at this top headline. And the title says, in 5 years, all home appliances will be internet connected. Looking at the sub-headline for a closer look at the article, Yoon Boo-geun, the president and chief executive of Samsung Electronics, used his opening keynote at the Consumer Electronics Show to talk about the Internet of Things. Now, he said the Internet of Things is no longer science fiction, but science fact. Now, Yoon added that in 5 years, all of Samsung's products will be internet connected or wired, also vowing that all of their devices will be built on platforms that are open and compatible with other company products as well. Now, wrapping up with a look at the Mail Business newspaper for this headline here in the center, and it says, global financial markets fear triple whammy of GOD. Now we'll take a look at what GOD means, and G stands for Grexit, referring to the potential for Greece to exit the Eurozone, O for the sliding international oil prices, and D for deflationary fears. Now, major stock markets around the world have been rattled by all three of these threats. As you can see in this image, going into a tailspin with Korea's benchmark Kospi plummeting below the 1900 threshold to a 16-month low, that is. And that was a look at our local headlines this Wednesday. Now more on the stock numbers from Tuesday.
All right, so the Sohan cold wave or the so cold wave is gripping the nation.
No, that's right. It's so hot, right? And we are hoping that Chun Sung-cho did have her heat packs with her. We'll take things over to her right now and see what the temperatures are like. Good morning,
Good morning to you, Sung-cho.
Young and Minjung, good morning. I'm reporting live from Yangjaecheon Stream. Temperatures plunged overnight to -8 degrees, and wind chill values are as low as -14 degrees Celsius outside here in Seoul. It's so cold that I can't feel my fingers and toes. A bitter cold wave is blasting the entire nation, with advisories being issued in the northeastern sections of Gangwon-do and Chungcheongbuk-do provinces. Daejeolryong in the mountainous Gangwon-do province is recording the lowest temperatures of all right now at 15 degrees below zero, which feels like 20 degrees below zero with the wind chill. Different high-pressure areas across China are mainly going to drive our weather system for the next couple of days, bringing mostly clear skies throughout the peninsula. And this will be no help when it comes to retaining heat in the atmosphere, even in the afternoon. So you should definitely dress warm on your way out this morning, as midday highs won't rise too much. And with that, let's take a closer look at today's readings around the nation. Afternoon highs are about 5 to 6 degrees lower than yesterday. Mercury levels remain below freezing even after midday in Seoul. Busan will be the warmest at 6 degrees Celsius. Temperatures should recover on Friday afternoon to the warmer side. This is all for me with the weather forecast. Minjang.
Thank you, Sung-cho. Let's now get a check on the stories making headlines around the world. At this hour, we'll turn to our Eunice Kim, who's standing by at the news center. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning, Minjung.
Now, there were some hope yesterday after an Indonesian search vessel was set to have located what could have been the tail of the missing Air Asia plane that could hold the black box. Any development on this front?
Yeah, unfortunately not. And in fact, search teams are starting to feel the crunch of time as experts are really pretty baffled at the fact that there's been no pickup of the so-called pings from the black box, given that the plane is believed to be in relatively shallow waters between 30 to 40 meters deep. Some opine silt could be blocking the signals from the transmitters. Indonesia's search and rescue agency did report Tuesday a U.S. search team spotted 2 large objects via sonar, but they will have to go in to verify that they are indeed plane debris. Strong currents continue to complicate search efforts. On Tuesday, 2 more bodies were found, bringing the total to 39, still less than a third of the 162 passengers the plane was carrying, most of them Indonesian and 3 of them Korean. Medical experts warn the bodies will begin to sink within 10 to 14 days after entering the water, signaling a more challenging recovery effort with each passing day. And just hours ago, U.S. House Speaker John Boehner was narrowly reelected to his 3rd term in the post as Republicans took full control of both chambers of Congress, a first in 8 years. He said the GOP will work with President Barack Obama to move forward on issues like jobs, energy, and veterans. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also expressed optimism entering his term, though he admitted that hard work laid ahead. President Barack Obama congratulated them both and hoped for a productive 2015.
Now, in Florida, a spaceship launch is scrapped just about a minute before takeoff. And now, this is a minute before the takeoff, and much to the disappointment of astronauts who are waiting for a resupply of condiments and, of course, their Christmas presents. Santa Claus is running late.
That's right. Commander Butch Wilmore at the International Space Station did say that the crew of 6 had run out of condiments about a month ago, and he personally could use some yellow mustard to add a kick to his space food. But all jokes aside, the cargo spacecraft called the Dragon was to take off from Cape Canaveral on Tuesday, but the SpaceX team behind the mission spotted a malfunction in the steering mechanism of the rocket seconds to launch. SpaceX chief Elon Musk tweeted that it was behaving strangely. Now, this supply flight was also also to deliver science experiments and overdue Christmas presents, as you mentioned, as the mission was delayed twice last month due to a flawed test firing of the rocket engines. And Minjung, the private space company, said the earliest it could try again will be this coming Friday morning local time, but you can imagine why they're taking all the precautions that they can, particularly as another private company, Orbital Sciences, saw its last supply flight end in an explosion back in October.
Well, they better fix this thing quickly because people need their mustard, of course, right?
And food, groceries as well.
Right. Thank you, Ines, for that.
Sure thing.
And stay with us on Korea today. We are in the middle of the winter season. Well, today happens to be one of the coldest days of the season. How about we learn to enjoy the cold weather, skate and sled to your heart's content right in the heart of Seoul. We'll show you where, so don't go away.
In the flourishing concrete jungle, it may be impossible, or it may seem impossible to see art that you can actually appreciate. But the art actually lies within the concrete jungle in those little buildings that we have there. And here's some artists that actually see exactly that. Joining us is Im Yoon-hee to talk more about that. Good morning.
Good morning. So this week for me has been flying by because there are so many new galleries to check out.
Wow, there's just so many buildings in Seoul to look at.
Right. Art to look at everywhere. So I have a couple of those galleries for you today. So we've talked about in the past the relationship, the close relationship between art and architecture. So today I have another artist, or architect you can call him, but also an art movement that examines the relationship or the close link between art and architecture, but also art in our everyday lives. So take a look at this next report.
An urban city of the 21st century, intensely overpopulated, full of contrasting space. Architect Cho Min-seok founded the Mass Studies Project in 2003, a project that examines the relationship between architecture and art, a place where the past and future meet, a utopia versus reality. The exhibition takes a look at the past 12 years of Cho's works, in particular, architecture, an aspect of the everyday Cho believes is closely tied with art. While most focus on the before and after of construction of a building, here it's the process that shapes the building and the culture around it.
There are scores of people from different backgrounds collaborating here as well. This is an exhibition that has brought together many people I respect, including photographers.
The art and design school Bauhaus, originally located in Germany, was open for just 14 years. But it had tremendous influence over 20th century art, architecture, textile, design, and everything in between. Korea's leading modern and contemporary art powerhouse, the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, has collaborated with the Bauhaus Dessau Foundation to put together an exhibition that examines humanity's response to the changes of a new era.
Kandinsky, Oskar Schlemmer, Laszlo Moholy-Nagy. These are some of the lesser-known masters in art history you can see here.
This is the first full-scale Bauhaus exhibition in Asia, and includes the work of 6 Korean artists who reflect Bauhaus in the 21st century.
So the name Bauhaus, I'm pretty familiar with it because of the Cafe Bauhaus, which is at the Seoul Art Center. So that movement actually did have an impact over here, right? Now tell us a little bit more about this movement.
So the Bauhaus movement actually united art and industrial design, and this began in the early 1900s, and it continued to become more and more prevalent as time progressed. And so, the Bauhaus movement was created as a response of people's fear that individuals were losing their, individuality in a society that was becoming more and more, technologically advanced, more industrial. And so through embracing this idea, or the fact that our world was indeed becoming more technological, more dependent on technology, this Bauhaus idea, these fundamental values were able to, get a foothold throughout the world.
Well, although all of the art pieces or the architectural pieces were rather impressive, there was one that really stood out, the big, huge white installation piece. Tell us about that.
So a very famous work. It's actually called the Ring Dome, and it has been around the world. It has been installed in Milan and New York, and now it's here here in Seoul. But the gallery that's housing it, the Plateau Gallery right now, is a perfect fit for this exhibition because the gallery itself is dedicated to the constant evolving of contemporary art. And so the Mass Studies program, that whole program by architect Cho, that is another program that is very dedicated into looking and researching this idea of contemporary art continuing to evolve and to adapt to our lives and our society. And so a great fit.
It definitely seems that contemporary art is expanding to basically anything and everything that's out there, right? All right, well, thank you very much, Uni, for that.
You're very welcome.
All right, still ahead on Korea Today, you've heard of EVs, right? We're talking about electric vehicles, and a lot of them actually used to yield about 100 kilometers per charge, but now they're getting a lot better and fancier, just like the one you see there. Look at that. It's a convertible concept car, but we're going to get a closer look at that with Jessie Day joining us in the studio, and we have one of those in the studio.
Korean coffee franchise Angel Innis will be holding a special promotional event once every month starting today.
That's right. And get this, depending on how you order, or to be more specific, how polite you are when you order, you can get up to a 50% discount.
Wow.
Our Song Sona has more on this. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
You're being polite here. All right, so why not, right? So if you are looking for the discount, then listen up to this. So according to this chart, if you just say cup of Americano, you'll have to pay the normal price. It is. But if you add the magic word, please, cup of Americano, please, that will give you a 20% discount. Now, if you go a step further and say, hello so-and-so, that's the server's name. So if you were the server, hello JJ, I would like a yummy cup of Americano, please, then you get the 50% off.
Wow. I didn't know your name was JJ, by the way. Jinju.
Sure.
But it works. Interesting, though.
But you have to be careful because it works the other way as well. If you're rude and you demand Americano, then you get surcharged 50%. I don't know if they'll really do it, but it's included in that.
I don't know how it's going to sit well with some of the customers. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
Just encourage being nice to each other. So that was coffee. Now to burgers. So Korean fast food chain 롯데리아 released a new burger yesterday, ramen burger. And as you can see, instead of having bread buns to hold everything together, we have cooked fried ramen cakes.
Ooh. Okay.
So all day yesterday online, people were uploading their reviews about it. And I read through it all, and to sum it up, it tastes good, but it's very hard to hold together. Apparently it kind of falls apart on you. So the point is, don't eat it on a date.
On a date, I'm bringing in 5 tomorrow. 5 ramen burgers.
But these ramen burgers are sold out in some places, so you'll have to find the right place to go.
I'll get there at 3 a.m., so I think I'm in good hands.
All right, I'll wait for it tomorrow. Meanwhile, over in the States, the Smithsonian Museum just uploaded around 800 digitized Korean artworks on their website. And they're part of a greater collection of around 40,000 digitized Asian artworks owned and uploaded by the free and secular galleries, which date back from the Neolithic period to present day. And according to the Smithsonian, most of the collection has never been seen by the public before. Now, the Korean collection has 781 artworks, including various inkwash paintings, Goryeo Dynasty celadons, Goryeo Dynasty Buddhist paintings, and folding screens.
It would be best to go to the museum and see it for yourself. But do you have to sign up for it, or you have to pay money online?
No, and that's a really great thing, especially for students, because as long as it's not for commercial use, as long as it's for private use, then everyone can access it and view it for free.
Great. Interesting.
Now, back home in Korea, for the first time in 130 years, the entire length of the Deoksugung Doldamgil Road in downtown Seoul will be open to the public. So if we have a look at this map, this is the Deoksugung Palace, and this is Seoul City, Seoul Plaza over here. Now, the Deoksugung Doldamgil is a 900-meter stone-walled path surrounding the Deoksugung Palace. Now, this portion, however, in front of the British Embassy, the 190-meter section, has been closed off to the public since the embassy was established 130 years ago. But this is all about to change now, possibly by the end of the year, as Seoul City Mayor Park Won-soon and British Ambassador Scott Whiteman recently agreed to open up the section for public access once again.
It's quite romantic to walk along that wall.
Right.
This decision has been a long time in coming.
You're absolutely right. So the Seoul City government has been negotiating with the British Embassy for well over a decade now, since the early 2000s. And we have finally reached the decision. So the plan now is to have security experts fly in from Britain and work together with the Seoul City government to come up with a practical security plan in the coming months.
How about Chinju and I hold hands and walk along that wall?
Great idea.
All right, thank you so much, Min-Sorang.
You're welcome.
Any good Wednesday morning to you all as we kick things off with the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games. Now, on Monday, the governor of Gangwon-do Province, Choi Mun-soon, stated that co-hosting the event with North Korea will be a symbol of peace and great for both nations. But the organizers are still against the idea. Now, on Tuesday, the organizing committee's vice president, Kwak Young-jin, came out stating that they refuse to co-host with any other countries, even if it's North Korea. Now, Kwak added that the governor's comments were, quote, inappropriate comments that disappointed the people of South Korea. Now, with the Pyeongchang Winter Games a little more than 3 years away now, organizers continue to remain busy, making sure all the constructions will be complete in time. Now, some of the athletes here in the nation are so popular that they're technically celebrities. And, of course, one of those athletes is rhythmic gymnast Hun Yeon-jae. And today, she's headed over to Russia in preparations for her 2015 season. Now, the 20-year-old rhythmic gymnast who had 11 consecutive podium finishes in the World Cup events and a bronze medal at the 2014 World Championships prepares for the new season as she'll leave to Moscow today. Of course, with 4 new programs for the new season, there's a lot of work to be done for her as she stated the importance of the 2015 season since it'll practically be a preparation for the 2016 Rio Summer Games, where she hopes to win Korea's first Olympic medal in the sport. Now, if you take a look back at last year, Kim Hyo-joo was one of the hottest stars in the sporting world, and the new year kicked off well for her as she jumped up again in the latest world rankings. Now, not a lot of changes in the latest world rankings, except for the 19-year-old Kim Hyo-joo, who passes Yu So-yeon for 7th in the Rolex World Rankings. Now, after winning 3 majors in the KLPGA, 1 major title in the LPGA last season, she's expected to have a big season this year as well, as many believe that her ranking will continue to climb in 2015. Meanwhile, Park In-bi and Lydia Ko remain 1st and 2nd in the latest world ranking. The 2015 Asian Cup is now 2 days away, and the Korean national football team hopes to win their first title in 55 years. And, well, it's expected that the team will struggle a bit due to the lack of offense. The Australian media, well, they have their eyes on Son Heung-min to thrive. And according to News.com, Son Heung-min is one of the 10 must-watch footballers during the 2015 Asian Cup, as they expect the midfielder to do big things for the Korean national football team. They added that Son Heung-min has the ability to beat Australia, as Korea is grouped with the host nation in Group A. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
Right now it's time to pick a theme or pick a topic and visit through Seoul and the attractions that we have here. Joey Albright joins us for more on this. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, let's go ahead and begin. I'll be taking you guys to some special places around the city where you can escape the cold and have some wintry fun. As you know, school season is it's on winter break right now, so sled slopes and ski rings are opening the doors, and many people are going to check it out. So.
All right.
Tuksam Hangan Park, located in Gwangjinju district of Seoul, holds different events each season for the visitors. Transformed into a sledding hill for the winter, Tuksam Hangan Park is already bustling with visitors. It seemed that no one cared about the cold because they were having too much fun sliding down the hill. But the hill here is actually not too steep, making it that much safer.
Are these the walk ones, or do they have that?
They're walking.
Oh, no.
You have to make the effort.
It's like they never get tired. They're actually waiting for their next turn.
I used to take my kids there, go up 2 times, and I'm like tired.
We're done for the day.
The tube sled provides a cushy seat and is more exciting because you never know which way it goes as it turns around and around. The slope, 80 meters, makes it seem twice as fast though.
It was really fun. I think I had more fun.
There are also separate slopes for young kids. There the little ones can ride the sled with their moms and dads and also have fun touching the snow with their own hands.
Yeah, it's nice. Winter is really good.
It's really fun sledding in the city here.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. You can go sledding beside the river. It's very nice.
We're now at the Smelt Fishing Grounds, which are said to have become a must-visit place only a week after it opened. Smelts, or bingol in Korean, can survive in the cleanest waters, and you can catch them right here in the middle of Hangang River. With a fee of just 4,000 won, you can catch all the smelts that you can for 20 minutes, and fishing is not difficult at all, so it's popular for both kids and adults.
It's good to spend time with the family, sledding and fishing.
For an extra fee, you can also ask to have your fresh catch deep fried on the spot. Does it look delicious? Smelt is full of calcium and protein, so it makes it for a healthy winter snack.
It's more fresh and delicious because it was just caught.
In Mapogu District, a winter festival is underway at World Cup Park's Peace Park. A playground has been set up using the silver grass from the Sky Park. The silver grass maze features a gong in the middle, which is fun to hit for those who reach the center. And you can hear the sounds of various animals living in and around the winter park in the silver grass tunnel. Also at Peace Park, an ice sled ring has been created for traditional ice sledding. The artificially frozen ice allows people to enjoy traditional winter sledding regardless of the weather, and it's free for kids.
Ice sledding is fun. I want to come back again tomorrow.
The kids love ice sledding. I think it'll be very memorable.
A sledding competition is being held for the weekend.
네, 1등 하겠습니다.
이규빈 화이팅!
Check out the look of determination on the kids' faces. The competition will be held every Saturday throughout the festival's duration, which lasts through February.
Oh, they're good. They're getting competitive. I think I used to do that too. Try when I lose. I have to win.
And there's also a warmth program that will help you beat the cold. You can warm up by eating grilled sweet potatoes the old way together with your family. It's very cute.
Oh, that's good.
While having so much fun sledding, sometimes the sun sets and the city darkens before you know it. That's when you can see people enjoying the nighttime skating amidst the splendid lights in front of Seoul City Hall. Since its first opening in 2004, the Seoul Plaza skating ring has been set up each year to become one of the city's most beloved features. It's more than affordable. You can use the ring and rent skates for just 1,000 won.
I came for the night skating. I think it's really great that such a large skating rink is set up at Seoul Plaza.
It's great that we can skate for such a low price in the middle of Seoul.
It's not a small rink. It can hold up to 600 people, and yet it's always teeming. Everyone seems to be having a great time with their families, friends, and loved ones. The Seoul Plaza ice skating ring is normally open till 9 p.m. on weekdays and until 11 p.m. on weekends.
아빠, 나 재밌어. 재밌고 매일 타고 싶어요.
Right next to it is an ice skating rink just for kids. Here, young kids can skate safely with their parents.
That's my way of skating.
Especially because the rink is outdoors and the night view is great.
So there you have it. You don't need to go far away to have some winter fun. Find a sledding hill or skating rink close to you, all in the city of Seoul.
All the lights lit up around the venue makes it really cozy, somewhat cozy and romantic and exciting.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel romantic. As you know, Seoul Ice Skating Ring, they offer skating lessons as well. It's, I believe it's 12,000 won for 4 lessons a week.
Wow.
And if you want to apply, just go to their website and sign up. So.
Quite affordable, too.
Right.
Yeah, it's cheap. So the Tuksum Hangang Park, the swimming pool there, that's actually turned into a sled hill now. Are there any other activities other than smelt fishing that they have there?
Yeah, of course. There's, well, for 4,000 won, you can do some, they call it sculpting with jumping clay. And you can also do bow making and stuff like that. Some other options, if you're not into that, are doing the folk games, visiting some folk game facilities, and also doing some, watching some 3D, some 3D screens. So it's kind of unique. There's more than just one thing to do. And if you want to get discounts on the website, just go to the website and look for some sledding discounts.
So lots of things to do for the kids and for adults as well. And closer to where we are, the Yangjaecheon stream, I believe, has some kind of ice skating and other things going on as well.
Yeah, exactly. The Yangjaecheon ice sledding field is created every year by filling the rice paddy educational rice paddy field with water and letting it freeze over naturally. Over 5,000 people visit the ice sledding field each year, and you can rent the skates for just 1,000 won. Which is kind of nice.
Right, and then there's the MBC Plaza, right?
Exactly.
Skating rink.
Yeah, and that is newly opened and is gaining in popularity.
And Yangjaecheon stream snow sledding.
Yeah, exactly. The slow sledding there's not just that, there's also sugar crafts and some other cultural experiences in there as well, which is quite nice. So it's not just one thing you're doing, but multiple things.
Right. So what more can you ask for, right? Especially in this chilly weather. Just wait for the sun to come up just a little bit so it warms up, and then get out there and hit the ice, right?
Right. Thank you so much, Joey.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now, this actually looks like something that I would get into. It's a concept car right here, but not just any old concept car. This is an EV, and we're going to find out more about this with Jesse Day joining us. Good morning, Jesse.
Yes, good morning. These days, environmentally friendly products are the name of the game. And this, what we're looking at here, is the Ep740 by Power Plaza, an electric vehicle. Of course, produces no carbon emissions and is very good for the environment. And a pretty nice looking vehicle as well, if I do say so
Exactly. And
myself.
speaking of nice, that's exactly what that name means. A Ep740, or isn't it pretty, or it is pretty, right?
Exactly.
So it is very pretty. It's very nice and compact, two-tone leather seats inside, nice steering wheel, no airbags it seems. The dash could use a little bit of work, but it looks fabulous. Should we take a look?
Yes, well, one thing that's really cool about it is how quiet it actually is. Let's see how quiet it runs. So I'm just gonna get inside here and start it up. You see the screen right now says ready. We just turn it on.
It's not gonna go, right?
It is now on.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, well, it is an EV, an electric vehicle. So you would imagine that it makes no noise except when it goes. Maybe a little bit of WD-40 on that.
Yeah. So what we see inside here is the engine components as well as the battery pack too. And you can notice it simply makes no noise whatsoever.
Wow.
Even when the acceleration is on, the noise level is
on?
virtually unidentifiable.
No, it's electric. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, still.
Once you start
100%
going,
electric.
it goes whee, right?
A little bit.
Well, it looks nice. It looks nice, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing about electric vehicles that people are concerned about because every
Sure.
like 100 or 150 kilometers or so, you need a full charge. So how about this? What's
the battery
capacity?
pack. The battery pack, right? Well, I'm going to talk about that and a few other things. Why don't we take a look at a video right now that'll explain more about the car. Now, Power Plaza has developed several patented technologies for the Yepujana, and one of them being a carbon fiber outer body. Now that's to help make the car more lightweight, but also to make it more energy efficient as well. Now another innovation is that the bottom section of the car is constructed out of one single piece. This not only makes it more easy in the manufacturing process, but it also makes it more resilient in the case of accidents or collisions. So you don't get as hurt, the car doesn't get as hurt, it's a win-win. And as you were mentioning, of course, the battery pack is a very, very important thing. You don't want to have to charge it too often. And with the Yepujana, it's actually customizable. There's 3 different battery packs going all the way down from 200 kilometers up to 500 kilometers on just a single charge.
Just one single charge up to 500
kilometers. That's what this baby right here
That's
can do.
amazing. You could get to Busan and halfway back.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
you could.
Should we like jump in here real quick and take a seat or?
Sure.
Yeah, can we do that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's just get in here.
Be careful there. Watch your heads.
And you know what?
So it's very comfy inside, right? It's not bad.
It's a stick.
Yeah, stick shift.
Wow, it's a stick shift, right? It has your little gauge cluster over here and all the other things. Nice seats. Is this the hog? All right, there you go. It works. Let's turn on the lights.
Okay, the signal lights?
No, the lights.
Oh, okay, there you go.
First time you driven a vehicle or what?
First time I've driven one of these vehicles, I'll tell you that much. Cool, yeah, and this right here is where you actually charge it. This is where the charging goes
This is where
into.
it charges.
Yes.
So tell us about the battery. Okay, so the
How
battery
to
has
charge
enough
it.
capacity to drive around up to 500 kilometers. Now, how do you
That's
charge
right.
this?
So this can actually be charged at home with a charger we don't have in the studio right now, but there's one you can get for home that can plug into any standard 220 volt socket, and then it plugs right into here, so you can charge it conveniently at home. It takes about 4 to 5 hours for a full charge, and again, it goes up to 500 kilometers, or as you say, to Busan and halfway back.
All right, so it has 79% right there. So there you go. You're set for that, right? But this is, of course, a concept vehicle right now. So all of these things are basically hand fabricated. So it's not 100% manufactured. It doesn't have a manufacturing light, right?
That's right, not yet. This is the 4th version so far that the Yepujana has gone through, so this is the latest one, and it should be coming to market soon, though.
Well, I think it's a lot better than my subcompact, I'll tell you that, right? I would trade that in.
Okay, close the door. And so speaking of chargers, and speaking of electric vehicles in general, there's also electric vehicle, light commercial vehicles that are being produced by Power Plaza as well, such as trucks. So let's take a look at another video to talk about the latest entry in the light commercial electric vehicle market. And that is a truck that is called Peace, as you can see right here.
There it is right there.
Yep. So this truck has recently been approved by several safety regulations last year. Governmental bodies have given it the green light, so it is now able to go on the streets of Seoul City and beyond in Korea. It produces no carbon emissions and a very low amount of sound. So it's very good for both the environment and, of course, the shipping and transportation industry. Now, the most important aspect is it runs at a cost of only 20 to 30% of a traditional vehicle. So,
so it's
that's
cheaper.
a lot of savings.
Traditionally,
Exactly.
when you see the signs E and V, when you see those letters on a car, you're thinking, ooh, it's going to be expensive, right?
Right.
So that's good. Now, how do you charge it?
Well, charging that one, this one you can charge
that's my
at
main
home.
thing.
Let's
How do
move
you
over to
charge
this
it?
right here, yes. That's your question of the day. So this is a charger made by Jung-Ang Control in response to the growing EV industry. This one is a slow charger. There's a few different versions of them, and I'll explain quickly how this works. So you've got right here the screen displaying all the relevant information. This is where you swipe a card to verify the user as well. And then this comes open right here, and then you take this out and you simply plug it into the vehicle, as we saw inside there on the truck. So that's exactly how it works. Very simple, very easy to use. You have an emergency button right here in case you need to cut off the power in case of an emergency, of course. And we can take a look at another video actually right now to explain a little bit more about it. As I mentioned, this one right here is a slow charger. That's the same charger we're looking at right here in the video. So it takes about 5 hours to fully charge a vehicle from completely empty to all the way full. There's also a faster version of the charger available that charges the vehicles in only 30 minutes. So it's very, very fast. And it works simply like pumping gas at a gas station. You just plug it into the charger, turn it on, and let it do its work. And you are maybe already seeing and will continue to see more and more of these all around Seoul and other places in parking lots, parking garages, at supermarkets and places like that.
And the most important thing is that the infrastructure for these cars, if you're going to be driving these cars, you need the charge stations.
Exactly.
And we're seeing more and more charge stations pop up here and there.
That's right. In fact, they're going to be rolling out a whole bunch of them. By 2020, it's estimated there's going to be about 2.2 million of them across the country. So the electric vehicle market is here to stay and is expanding a lot. So, which is great news for the environment and for people like us who maybe want to drive some of them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's 예쁘잖아.
예쁘잖아.
As its name indicates.
Jump in and go for a drive.
Would you drive one of these?
I would so drive, and I would so pose for this car too. I wanted to.
She was preparing for some modeling.
Right,
why don't both of you guys do it? One on either side of the vehicle, right?
No, but this
Nobody
is
likes
so
me.
cute. Look at this, and the lights are so cute. I think it's going to be popular among women.
Really cute.
Right.
Yeah, it's not such a manly man's vehicle, to be honest.
Can I get on this?
SJ wasn't really feeling it, but I think it's totally
Bye-bye.
cute.
Well, we can go to
Too
Busan.
much man hormones for this car.
You're locking me up here.
Bye, Jinju. Stay in there. Wow, this is so cute. I mean, and it's, it's eco-friendly. That's another thing, of course.
500 kilometers per charge.
Right?
Yeah,
Wow,
what can you ask for,
And you can
right?
charge it at home,
It's
4 to 5
so
hours.
cute.
Even if the gas prices are low these days, you just want to go and switch to an EV, right?
I think Jinju wants to get out.
All right.
All right, well, that's just about this for this edition of Korea Today.
All right, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning exactly at 7 a.m.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Drive off.
Yeah, let's go.